Alright, here we go, guys. Awakened Hollyberry Cookie, or Hollyberry Cookie. Sorry for my pronunciation. But here we go. Aegis, alright, is going to be the title here for this cookie. We have Immortal, we have the Dragon Lord, we have the Compassionate, and now we have the Aegis, alright? So, let's go and see the skill. Very, very long. If you guys saw the costume and the transformation, then you know that there is going to be something like that, alright? 13-second cooldown now, and we have Sound the Charge. Hollyberry Cookie charges forward with her Shield of Conviction. While her Shield of Conviction is active, she will absorb a portion of the damage allies take, excluding periodic and indirect damage. Afterwards, she will buff ally cookies, reducing incoming crit damage and making them resistant to damage debuffs. Hollyberry Cookie will gain the Seed of Life buff depending on the amount of damage received during Shield of Conviction. Once she gains enough Seed of Life stacks, it will bloom into the Berry of Life. Steelbound Passion will activate depending on the amount of damage received during the Shield of Conviction or after a certain period of time. Steelbound Guardian will activate once Hollyberry Cookie has gained enough stacks of Steelbound Passion or when her HP drops below a certain level. This right over here, the Steelbound Guardian, is actually the one where she transforms. Alright, that's where her transformation actually takes place. Entering the Steelbound Guardian state will reset Hollyberry Cookie's cooldown, restore HP, and enhance Shield of Conviction. Her final hit will be buffed depending on the damage received during Shield of Conviction. The cooldown for Hollyberry Cookie's first skill activation is reduced, and while she is using her skill, she will briefly become resistant to interrupting effects. Alright, so let's look at this. Hollyberry Shield. Single hit damage is going to be 547.8% of attack, dealing up to 3 hits. And the extra damage for targets immune to stun is going to be 405% of attack. And then it's going to stun for 2 seconds if they are not immune to stun. And then extra damage resist bypass for targets immune to stun is going to be 50% as well. That is a lot. Final hit damage is going to be 62.2% of max HP and ignore 40% of damage resist. 62.2% of max HP? Her HP is insane. So maybe we might be able to see some HP stuff here, guys. Seed and Berry. Alright, Seed of Life is going to gain 1 stack for each 0.3% of Hollyberry Cookie's HP as of the start of battle lost during Shield of Conviction. Blooms into Berry of Life at 20 stacks. Berry of Life is going to increase the damage resistance by 20% for 10 seconds. Restore 1.5% of max HP every 1 second. Awesome. Shield of Conviction is going to activate for 13 seconds. Damage Focus is going to absorb 45% of damage received by allies. And this is the reason why, Hollyberry Cookie was kind of not that good in the beginning, because she took so much damage, right, without having any sustain on her. But we have damage dampening now. Alright, minus 35% to total amount of the damage received. Alright, so she is going to take less damage. Alright, which is why now this kind of thing is needed, right? Also, crit damage is going to decrease by 35% for 13 seconds, stacks up to 1 time. Damage debuff resist. Alright, 35% for 13 seconds, stacks up to 1 time. And I believe that's the weakness debuff, alright? And then we have the Steelbound Passion. Steelbound Passion, gain 1 stack every 1 second and gain 1 stack for each 5% of Hollyberry Cookie's HP as of start of battle lost during the Shield of Conviction. Steelbound Guardian is activated when gaining 20 stacks or if the HP drops below 25%. The Guardian, invulnerability for the duration. Max HP plus 40% and cooldown reset. Shield of Conviction damage focus and damage dampening maintained. Damage focus is 60% and damage dampening is plus 50%. Alright, and extra final hit damage is going to be 155% of Hollyberry Cookie's HP lost during Shield of Conviction, capped at 40% of max HP, and it's going to have a 40% damage resist bypass. And then the Ancient Cookie right over here is going to be a passive debuff resist plus 30%, extra 25% max HP, and extra 35% damage resist as well. All right, so that is a lot of stuff, man. In my opinion, it's just gonna be more of, I think HP and damage resist will probably be the better one, or the HP and cooldown will also be pretty helpful in my opinion. But as of right now, I think I'm just gonna go and put in what I had for Elder Fairy, and then for the you know, our toppings we're gonna have, so we do a mixture of the HP and damage resist. I think that might be a pretty good idea here, right? So a 3-3, because we're getting so much damage resist already with her. I think that's gonna be it. Look at that, 1.3 million HP. 1.3 million HP. That is kind of crazy. All right, so Hollyberry's rally buff is steel type damage resist bypass 1% per 1% max HP, capped at 12.5%, and then steel type cookie area damage 5% of max HP every 5 seconds. That is interesting. Steel Forge triggered when steel type cookie HP drops below 30%. Healing for self and Hollyberry cookie, 10% of Hollyberry cookie's max HP. Now we have to see how this is with raspberry, right? You want to go and use Hollyberry with another steel type, because this is very focused on all steel stuff, right? So she even has already area damage as well. Every 5, yep, that you saw that every 5 seconds. That's what it is. And then this is the Steelbound Passion. All right, once that becomes 20 stacks, she is gonna transform, boom, into the Guardian form right here, guys. That's gonna be the Guardian form. That's her skill right there, and that is gonna be the shield right there. Boom. That's the final hit. That one's the final hit right there, guys. All right. And let's see if we can just use it one more time. Let's speed this up. Boom. Of course, she is not going to be doing that much damage to bosses like this. That's not mainly her, you know, the focus here. You see how it is. She's just going crazy. And now let's go into the arena, right? As of right now, we are currently in the maintenance, but all right, let's just try it out. Let's just try it out, right? Let's just see how it goes. Okay, Pure Vanilla survives. Pure Vanilla survives the Shadow Milk Cookie's skill because of Hollyberry Cookie, dude. Hollyberry is actually so tanky. Even though she's soaking up all that damage, she's still full HP. And what is that? Oh, Hollyberry died. Okay, I guess having that weakness debuff is still really powerful. Maybe I should get rid of the 2. But dude, look at that. I know you guys can't really see because of the chat. 12 million damage. She took 16 million healing and 17 million damage. Holy, that's a lot of damage. Instead of Wildberry, we'll try the Snapdragon here too. Replace Pure Vanilla with Fire Spirit. We can do that too. Of course, the thing is, just realize that we're just looking at how Hollyberry really is. Of course, when we're actually versing inside of the arena, most likely you are going to verse other Hollyberries as well. So what you're seeing right now is technically not the thing that you will most likely, you know, see. But yeah, definitely having that Snapdragon makes a big difference. Having that extra heal, having that extra buff, it does make a big difference here. And then the extra damage resist as well here. Our Shadow Milk still alive, and there we go. That should be the end of it. And there we go. That was close though. Of course, this is not the super optimized thing, but let's just see the stat. 8 million, 13 million damage taken. Could have been a little bit more, but you know, Shadow Milk was the last one surviving, so of course Shadow Milk's gonna take a little bit more. But that healing is actually so crazy. 12 million healing? We're healing more than the healer, guys. We're healing more than the healer. Okay, for sure, we're gonna have to use Hollyberry inside of the arena now. The main thing that happens now with Hollyberry inside of a team is that no one is getting literally one-shotted, right? That was a very, very, very big problem inside of the arena, is that, you know, these cookies are getting one-shotted. And so we needed to have someone like Golden Cheese, who revived. We needed to have someone like Pure Vanilla to revive, right? But now that we have Hollyberry, we might be able to go and, you know, utilize a lot of different combinations to see like what might be best, you know, because now nobody's dying in one shot, right? Well, we might see her. I feel like we could have a chance. There is a big chance of it happening. It's just I might need to just figure out what that build is going to be. But definitely having Raspberry does make it so that that particular cookie on the enemy team is not going to be able to like heal a lot. Let's see the damage here. Okay, yeah, it's not. I feel like we're not really using Raspberry for the damage aspect. It's more for that debuff though, right? But we won. We won. And I feel like the debuff actually helped out a lot. For sure now, it's going to be Hollyberry inside of the team. Alright, and then probably Eternal Sugar and Shadow Milk. And then the last, you know, high rarity slot is going to be replaceable with like Pure Vanilla Awaken. We might see like Golden Cheese again, who knows? We might see Burning Spice. We might see Mystic Flower. We might see, you know, Fire Spirit. But I think all of those are going to be an option. And then, of course, we might see Raspberry. You know, we might see it. Again, though, we are versing a team that was from last season, right? This is a last season team. There's also the Vampire team that was there last season too. But, you know, the big thing now is that Hollyberry, again, is allowing our cookies to not literally die in one shot, which is a very, 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 you know, big change inside of the arena. Okay, I'm not too sure who's gonna completely be gone, if anybody will be gone, right? I just feel like it's more of like, you know, different options, right? Different options are gonna come up again, except now we're not gonna have, right? We're not gonna have the, you know, no tank anymore. The build that I have currently right now, of course, this is not the probably best right now, but I have 3 peanut, all right, so to increase the max HP, as well as 3 damage resist as well, because of the fact that we are getting a base 35% damage resist as well, additional to, you know, other buffs. Okay, especially if you have Hollyberry with Pure Vanilla, you can also get extra 15% damage resist as well. You're gonna have a lot. So I feel like, you know, you're gonna definitely go and get to that 90% anyways. So I think increasing max HP is good because you are dealing damage based on Hollyberry's max HP for the shield. Alright, and then Biscuit right now I'm using 2 HP and 2 damage resist. This is kind of what I had from Elder Fairy. So this is what I had from Elder Fairy. So we're having an extra like 109.7% HP and then 63.9% damage resist. I'm not too sure about the cooldown. I feel like maybe we can work with a bit higher cooldown as well, right? But I'm not too sure what the optimized cooldown is going to be. And of course, just keep in mind we are at just 1 star awakening. It's going to be a lot easier for many people, especially to get to 2 star awakening, which is pretty easy, right? So that's what we have. And then of course, just realize we are going to have the master mode, all right? And you're most likely going to have to, right? Not most likely, you are going to have to use Hollyberry here, all right? If you're not using Hollyberry, you are going to be missing out on a lot of things, all right? Because you just get a bunch of healing now, and you get a bunch of damage resist bypass, and all that good stuff, all right? So please go and use Hollyberry Awaken. All right, but the queen is back. Absolutely love the skill. I honestly, it's not over the top, but it's just really doing what she needs to do and what she does best, which is tanking and soaking up damage and healing as well. So it's literally, when they said the best tank is here, they were right. Hollyberry is the best tank and does what she needs to do, right? She doesn't do any of those crazy debuffs. She doesn't go and do all these fancy stuff. She just tanks and helps the team survive. So I definitely recommend you guys, you're gonna have to go and go pull the gacha and get Hollyberry Awaken. Very good.